Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Rock Squad podcast, your destination for the latest in rock music news, reviews, and discussion. I'm one of your hosts. I'm Nick Chino. I'm joined by my co-host and bandmate. It's Dave Marini. What's up, Dave?
Hey, buddy, how's it going?
It's not too bad. We kind of had a little bit of a break here on the podcast over the last month or so. There's been a lot of stuff going on.
Oh, it's been a crazy time, and we're gonna get to everything, I'm sure. But before we get to everything, if you're watching this, if you're listening to this, make sure you drop down to the bottom of the page. You like this video, you like this audio podcast, wherever you are. We are available everywhere. You can follow us on Instagram, Rock Squad Pod. You can follow me, Red Coast Records on Instagram. You can follow our band, Fools Union, foolsunion.com, Fools Union on Instagram. It has been one hell of a couple of weeks. We've been super busy. What have you been up to?
Well, not too much, man. I've just been hanging out, but we just released a new song with our band, Fools Union, called Maniacs. We put it out on October 1st. So we're pretty stoked about that. The response to the new song has been great. It's been a long time coming for us. We started working on the song, a couple of years ago now. So we put it out. People are digging it. It's out on all the streaming services everywhere. So our song Maniacs from Fools Union is out now. If you everywhere, want to check that out. But Dave, you went out west. You went out to the coast. How was that?
Well, we were releasing music, and I thought I better go and tell the orcas in the Pacific that we have new music coming. Yeah, so I went out there for a few days, and I did all the beautiful things you do in Vancouver. I went and had great food. I went to Stanley Park, and I went to Whistler for a few days, and it was a great time, man. I love it out there. We've been out there with the band. I've been out there a few times without doing musical things, but I'm telling you, after 2 years of lockdown and not much travel, it was really nice to just, see the mountains and see the lakes and just, get some fresh air, feel the sea breeze on your face. I had a really good time, and I was sick going out there too, so I was kind of worried the whole time, but everything cleared up. That salt water just cleared me right up, and now I'm good to go, ready to rock back into the podcast.
Right on, man. Yeah, we've actually gone to a couple of concerts over the last couple of weeks or last month or so as well. Back in September, we went down to the Festival of Friends at Gage Park. We saw Danko Jones and Big Wreck, which was amazing. And then this past weekend, we went down to the Supercrawl event at Bayfront Park here in Hamilton. We saw Death from Above and Mono Whale. So that was fun. Those were the first two concerts that I've gone to probably in about 2 years. It's been crazy that it's been that long, but it was absolutely fantastic to go out and see live music. It was a lot of fun. Did you have fun at those shows?
It was ecstasy, my friend. It was what a relief from 2 years of watching things on YouTube and binging movies and stuff. Yeah, it was fantastic. We're huge fans of Danko Jones and we're huge fans of Big Wreck, so it was kind of a surprise concert in our hometown. A surprise concert that 24,000 people showed up to, but numbers seem to be low from the concert, so there doesn't seem to be much. It was not a super spreader, which we were worried about.
That's good.
So everything was great. Both bands had amazing sets. It had been a few years since I had seen both bands live, and definitely their sets have progressed. Lots of hits from both. A few more hits from Big Wreck than from Danko, but they're out on a new record, so we got like a couple extra goodies from that. But great sets all around. Two of our favorite Canadian bands in our hometown for free. End of summer, we're gonna be there, man. That's the way it goes.
Yeah, so it was a lot of fun to go see those shows and get out and check out some live music. So that was really cool. And through the magic of video editing, I will put some footage of those shows here into the podcast. But let's get to our Rock Squad podcast. There's been a lot of things happening in the world of rock music news. So let's get right into it with our opening act topics, which are some hot topics that are happening right now in the world of rock music. The first one being the band that we saw at Festival of Friends last month, Big Wreck, one of our favorite Canadian rock bands and just rock bands in general. They've announced a new EP called Big Wreck 7.1. It's going to be released on November the 19th. It includes the new single Bombs Away, which they played when we saw them last month. They've been playing that song live. It's the first release in what's going to be a 3 EP series. Big Wreck also announced a co-headlining Canadian tour with Monster Trucks, who are right from our hometown here in Hamilton, Ontario. And it's going to be hitting cities across the country, including Kelowna, Red Deer, Edmonton, London, Toronto, Montreal, and more. What do you think of this new track, Dave? And what, just in general, how fucking awesome is Big Rack? They're just amazing. They continue to be amazing.
Ev, there are some blues type guitar players in the world that they like to say the slow hand approach, the Clapton-y approach, and they're, in my opinion, for alternative hard rock players, Ian Thornley is way up there.
Oh, he's
He's
amazing.
one, and I'm not talking just in Canada. I'm talking like all time, one of the best voices, one of the best guitar players, and he writes some heavy fucking riffs. And the last two records have just been stacked with heavy guitar riffs and some fun noodling. And live, they sound amazing. Like they're so good. The new
They were
song
dialed
sounds
in.
so good. Like they stand out to songs that have been hits for them for 25 years. And I'm like talking about bands getting better with time. Uh, you know, Unbelievable. And we're big old school Big Wreck fans. We're also big Thornley fans when he did the Thornley record. And the fact that they're back together and they're like five more records in now, and they're doing EPs and they're doing great songs. The song with Chad Kroeger that's on this EP too wasn't the best at first. I didn't think I'd like it. I fucking love it now. Everything on the EP is good. All their new songs are huge rock. Um, they they're amazing. They're an amazing band, and we're lucky that we got to see them for free. So that's great. And the EP is amazing. Everything's good. The song is awesome. The new single is awesome.
It is. Yeah, it's got a great riff to it. Yeah, we go back way back with Big Wreck, going right back to the first record. And then when you think about The Pleasure and the Greed, which was another big record for them, kind of in the first incarnation of the band before they broke up the first time, and Ian Thornley went on to do the Thornley project. But yeah, over the last decade or so, since they got back together, I'm a huge fan of the Albatross record, which was great.
So
that was so good. That was kind of their comeback record that they put out in 2012. There's a lot of great songs on that. The Ghost record was really good. And then they put out a couple songs already this year that don't seem to be on this EP. There was that Middle of Nowhere song they did with Chad Kroeger of Nickelback, and then they released another song called Ought to Be, and neither of those songs are on this new EP. So maybe they'll be on one of the other ones, but pretty cool that they're giving us a lot of new material. I always enjoy it when you get some singles, you get an EP. Big Wreck have always been very prolific. They're more of an album band, so it's cool that they're breaking things down and doing things in a different format. And like you're saying, Ian Thornley, such an amazing guitar player, an equally amazing vocalist. Their live sound was incredible. They got 3 guitar players on stage, and any band out there would know that when you have that many guitars and you're dealing with that much volume, that it's difficult to balance that and make it sound good on stage. But they had things so dialed in when we saw them. The sound was dialed in, the vocals were dialed in, and it was incredible. So as far as when we talk about our favorite Canadian rock bands or favorite rock bands in general, Big Wreck is definitely, they're definitely high on that list.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. The band, they are one of the best live performing bands in our country that our country has popped out in the last 20 years. Yeah, man, they're fucking fantastic, And I don't know if a lot of people know this, but like Big Wreck probably wouldn't be a band without the Tragically Hip, because like Jake Gold, the Hips manager that got them up and going, they used all the money from that to launch Big Wreck. And I was reading somewhere not too long ago that they didn't even know until they started to do vocals on the first record that Ian Thornley was going to sing in that band. They thought that one of the other guys was going to sing. And then when they started like tracking, they noticed like, okay, maybe you're better than him and you're better than him. And then Ian was the guy that everybody was like, you're better than all of us. Let's just focus on that. And his voice is, like it's unbelievable. And like, I know a couple years ago, he had the opportunity to audition for Slash's new band, which obviously Miles Kennedy ended up being in. And Todd Kearns is in now too. He's a Canadian. So there was a time right around when Scott Weiland died, and Velvet Revolver wasn't ever going to be a thing anymore, that they started bringing in Canadian singers down to LA, to audition for them, and then for Stone Temple Pilots too, when everything went sideways for thing. So to me, even though I love Miles Kennedy, I'm definitely an Ian Thornley guy, and I think those guys missed out on having one of the best vocalists, best guitarists around. But lucky for us, we're a huge Big Rec fans, so that just means more music for us.
Yeah, I feel like Ian Thornley's better off being in Big Rec, where it's his own thing. He's the main
Sure,
songwriter, guitar player, vocalist. He can do it all. I love following him on Instagram. He's always sitting there playing something on his guitar, and I could just
yeah,
watch him play forever. He's one of the best.
for sure. Too
Right.
good. He's too good to be in those bands.
He's too good. Yeah, he needs to do his own thing. That's for sure. He needs to shine on his own. All right, let's get to our next opening act topic on this week's Rock Squad podcast, and that is Fender is releasing a Kurt Cobain Jag stained guitar in honor of the 30th anniversary of Nevermind. They're releasing a special reissue of Kurt's signature Jag stained guitar. It's based on the singer's own custom model that he had back in the day. When Nirvana was going, it will be available in both right-handed and left-handed models. Left-handed being Kurt's way that he played guitar, and it's going to come in Sonic Blue and Fiesta Red colors. It's going to cost upwards of $2,000. Now, Dave, for me, when it comes to gear, I'm not a gearhead at all. So just looking at these guitars, I just go on aesthetics and just if I think it looks cool. They definitely look cool. The colors are cool. The Jag Stang design is awesome. But you're a little bit more of a gearhead than I am. What are you thinking about these? Do you think this is worth their price tag?
Well, I think the guitar is going to probably be a lovely guitar. The thing that kind of is weird to me is that the guy did his entire career preaching the fact that he played shitty guitars that he found in pawn shops.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So to put out a reissue and then charge $2,000
Yeah.
for a fucking reissue that he probably put together from a fucking pawn shop for $250 back in the day.
Right.
I get why they're doing it, but to me, it seems a little lame. It's not current. It's not like he's still around to be playing those things. He played lots of guitars. He had you know what I mean? Like it wasn't like that was his only guitar that he's been known to play. So I think it's a little bit of a stretch right now to do that. But you're kind of limited when it comes to Kurt with gear and stuff because he didn't really use typical things when he played. I think it's pretty well documented that he used a lot of Marshall cabinets, but he never used like Marshall amps or anything. He always used Crown power amp for the power things, and then he used the studio Mesa Boogie guitar preamp that Butch Vig suggested he used. And so he doesn't have like a traditional like, oh, this is that's his amp. It's kind of a weird hybrid of like a PA system with a guitar preamp setup. So the fact that they only really have the guitar to push, and it is a cool guitar. If you're a fan of the band and you want to have it, I know because you're not a gearhead, you actually are a fan of some of the signature models that come out because you like the tone of that guy, so get that guitar. I get it 100%. But for me, I'm not going to be buying the guitar. I'd rather go down to the States and find it in a pawn shop somewhere from 25 years ago for, $700 or $800. But I'm sure there's somebody out there, he's a fucking legend. So somebody will buy it, put it on their wall and spend the money.
Well, being the 30th anniversary of Nevermind this year, everybody's trying to cash in, I guess would be the term. I guess cash in or just try to trade off of the notoriety of the record. And it's been a little bit overwhelming this year. I find every day I'm reading a new article, Dave Grohl says this about Nevermind. And it's never anything that's really anything that we haven't heard before, or anything that's super revelatory about the making of the record. It's always a headline, be like, Dave Grohl says it was fun making Nevermind. It's like, yeah, we get it. It was a great record. 30 years is huge. And we were talking about a couple of weeks ago on the show, talking about the 60 days that changed rock music and how in that span of a couple of 60 days in 1991 that there were so many classic records released, including Use Your Illusion and Blood Sugar Sex Magic and Bad Motorfinger and the Black Album and all those great records, Nevermind being one of them. But it gets a little bit much when they just talk about Nevermind, when I think we've heard everything that there is to hear about this record. We know that it's a classic.
Yeah, 30 years. 30 years is an amazing accomplishment. And you're right. I'm not hearing anything new about the process of making that record, or like, let's be honest, the most shocking thing that happened was the naked baby suing,
I know.
because his dick's on the cover, and
Right.
it's just that's ridiculous. And I don't know. Yeah, there's nothing that I've heard from Dave in the last little bit. It's kind of I could only imagine how much he dreads doing press. For lucky he has a book coming out at around the same time, so that he can kind of focus on that and talk about
Right.
news stories that you haven't heard yet. I don't know. I don't know if you've been following any of the Dave stuff, but he's been telling a great story about having AC/DC and Paul McCartney at a restaurant. They all had dinner together after the Grammys, and
Right.
he
Yeah. Yeah.
brought
I
his.
heard.
Have
Yeah.
you heard that story?
Yeah.
So like stuff like that, I love. I've never heard that story before. That's a fantastic
Mhm.
story. Uh, hearing about how rehearsed Nirvana was before going to LA, and that
Right.
they had 40 songs that were all ready to go on a boombox, and they stayed in the dirty hotel, and Tom Petty was recording across the, like, I've heard it all before. It's they're great stories if you haven't heard them, but 30 years later, I haven't heard anything new in the last little push for the 30th anniversary. But it is quite the accomplishment. It's an amazing record. And but yeah, the guitar is one thing. The naked baby, it just seems like a whole bunch of shit. Seems like Courtney and Francis Bean need a couple payouts. So let's, like, sure, 30 years, do a box set, release some
Which they are.
tracks.
Yeah.
Yeah, then it's all good. But yeah, the guitar, it's a little pushing it. Like, it's just kind of anti-Nirvana, if you ask me. But
Yeah.
it is what it is. In 30 years, you have to recognize it. It is a super influential record. And like you said, those 60 days where music changed forever. And it's something that if those 60 days didn't happen, we wouldn't probably be doing music. So
Yeah.
awesome. Congratulations to 30 years. I'm sure they'll be talking about it 30 years down the road.
Yeah, I saw the
Um,
25th anniversary edition of Nevermind. So I don't know really what there is on the 30th anniversary edition that I don't already have.
Well,
It's kind
that's
of like,
that's interesting. I'm hoping that, because recently a lot of bands that are doing their reissues or even putting things on vinyl, such as our one of our favorites, Don Broco, right now,
yeah,
they're actually including waves of certain tracks. So like, with the Don Broco release, you get the album, the vinyl, a digital copy, but you also can install in your DAW recording software, the guitar, the bass, the drums, the vocals, and you can mix your own Don Broco song in your own system. So
yeah,
if things like, and I've noticed a bunch of people doing stuff like that. I know Smashing Pumpkins are doing something like that. So if that's something, as a fan of Nirvana and as a fan of that era, to spend the money to have access to those files, and to, have you come over and drink a pop and pull up Kurt's vocals and just listen to like what's going on and how, that's pretty cool to me. So hopefully bands are taking that approach. We're talking about doing it too. I don't know if I've talked to John about it. So I think that seems to be the new thing to add some value. So if that's the case, it might be worth picking up the 30th anniversary of Never.
yeah. Well, we'll see. Yeah, it might be worth
Yeah.
it. Buy it
Yeah.
again if you don't have the album yet, or if you just want to buy it for the millionth time. So that's going to be coming out soon, and the Kurt Cobain Jag Stand guitar is coming out soon as well. Let's get to our last opening act topic on this week's Rock Squad podcast, and that is Smash Mouth singer is retiring. Steve Hartwell, the longtime vocalist for Smash Mouth. It's funny that we're talking about Smash Mouth in the Rock Squad podcast. Has announced his retirement from the band due to ongoing health issues. He tried to keep going at a concert in upstate New York over the weekend, but after threatening the crowd and making shitty comments and Nazi salutes and stuff, he's decided to hang it up for good. He released a statement to the band's fans, thanking them for their support, but that he can no longer continue as the singer of Smash Mouth. And we don't want to make light of anybody's medical issues or anything, but it sounds like this guy was kind of a dink. But what do you make of this news? Like, do you think this guy deserves to retire after being such a jerk?
I don't really like, who the fuck is in a band for 30 years and then quits like he's fucking working at McDonald's for minimum wage. Like, fuck you, I'm out of here. Like, I watched the concert where shit went awry. I watched a little couple clips, and at one point he's telling a woman he's gonna kill her family, and
Yeah.
then at another point they boo him off stage, and a rando woman comes on and sings All Star with the band. So
Yeah.
I don't know if it's all an illness or like what's going on with him physically that he can't be in a band anymore. I don't know. I'm not his fucking doctor. I
Yeah.
don't know. But when you're a piece of shit to people that have paid money to come see you, and then you do a mic drop exit on a career
Yeah.
that, let's be honest, fizzled out like 15, 20 years ago, top, or
Yeah.
like, who the fuck is this guy? Nobody fucking cares that this guy had a fucking, he had a scene out of it. Time to move on, bro. Just fade off. It would have been better to just never do the show. Just stop. Put out a statement. I'm unable to thing, but you come out, you look like you're trash. You start telling people in the audience they're gonna kill you. All they want to do is hear the fucking song from Shrek.
Just play
That's
All
all that's
Star.
happening. That's all they want to do, and you ruin their night, and then you storm off, and then your career's over. If that's
Yeah.
how you want to go out, that says a lot about you. But I'm not a Smash Mouth fan, so go fuck yourself.
Yeah, I understand it might not be the easiest thing to be in Smash Mouth and be one of those bands that there are certain 90s bands that continue on. When I think about Third Eye Blind or something, like they're still doing their thing, but Smash Mouth does definitely not fall into that category. And he's just yeah, to go on stage and just be an asshole to the people who are paying to see your band. And you should be thankful that anybody is paying to see his band. And he's during this whole COVID thing, he's had some questionable opinions, and why people continue to write about him, I don't know. Why people like us on podcasts continue to talk about it, I don't know. It was just a topic, and I thought it might be interesting to mention Smash Mouth. Hey, listen, okay, Walking on the Sun, great song. All Star, great song. What's the other one? Then the Morning Comes. Yeah, great tune. If I was to say, well, who am I going to choose, Smash Mouth or Sugar Ray? I go Sugar Ray all the way.
Sugar Ray, bro.
Like, give me some Sugar Ray over Smash Mouth any day. But they did have some okay songs back 20 years ago. Their version of I Can't Get Enough of You, Baby from the Can't Hardly Wait soundtrack, classic. But that does not excuse this guy's shitty behavior.
Yeah, you think he could have rolled through those 5 songs and still had a good goodbye,
Yeah,
but
I know.
No. Better tell everybody how he feels.
Yeah, exactly, for sure. Well, good luck to Steve Harwell, the singer of Smash Mouth, and whatever his future endeavors may be. All right, let's get to our headliner topic on this week's Rock Squad podcast, and that is the Red Hot Chili Peppers. They're back. They've announced a 2022 World Tour after a lengthy hiatus. The band is announced they're going to be hitting the road in the new year, making stops across the globe, including Europe, the USA, even a stop in our neck of the woods in Toronto on August the 21st, 2022. The band announced the tour with I'm sure you saw this, Dave, the tongue-in-cheek video that of them doing this mock newscast of K-Hot. It was like a K-Hot news network or something, and then it was hilarious. So this tour is actually going to be really special because it's going to mark the return of John Frusciante as the band's guitar player. And you know what I'm thinking with the tour, an announcement of a new record and a new single has got to be imminent. It's got to be happening very, very soon. I don't know about you, Dave, but I'm really excited to have the Chili Peppers back. We're both big Chili Peppers fans. I'm a big fan of the modern incarnation of the Chili Peppers that has existed since Californication, since the first return of John Frusciante when he came back for that record. I love the modern 21st century version of the Chili Peppers. The stuff they did with Josh Klinghoffer was great, but Stadium Arcadium, I'm with you. The Getaway, their last studio record, was great. I'm really glad that John's back in the band because I really do feel like that's the definitive lineup of the Chili Peppers, is those 4 guys together: Anthony Kiedis, Flea, Frusciante, and Chad Smith. That is the Chili Peppers to me. Don't know if I'm going to be buying tickets to the tour, but they got a solid list of opening acts that are playing with them too. They got Haim playing with them. The Strokes are going on tour with them. Anderson .Paak is playing various dates. But this is super exciting, Dave. Are you excited for the return of the Chili Peppers?
Yeah, I'm super fucking excited of the return of John Frusciante and the Chili Peppers. I think that they're gonna come out with a banger of an album. I think Rick Rubin did it, I believe.
Probably, I would imagine so.
I think it is. They changed it up again because the last 2 weren't with Rick Rubin and stuff. So yeah, John's back. I love the KTLA parody.
Yeah.
We for years, you and I have both been fans of KTLA, the morning show and stuff like that from LA. So I'm glad that they think it's as humorous as we do. That they can parody it for a tour announcement and stuff. I think it's super funny, super playful. That band has always been really silly, and they've never taken themselves too seriously. We really love it when bands do that. We're big fans of the Foo Fighters of being silly in videos. Obviously, the Chili Peppers have a long history of getting naked and getting silly, and we've always been a fan of Naked Chili Peppers. So yeah, man, John Frusciante's back. I hope that it's it's a scar tissue all over again. I hope that it sets off a chain of events that leads us to another Stadium Arcadium and all that stuff. I'm a fan of early Chili Peppers too. Obviously Blood Sugar Sex Magic and Mother's Milk and stuff like that. I am definitely more of a fan when John Frusciante's in the band. No,
Me too.
no ill feelings towards Dave Navarro, but I think everybody who likes the Chili Peppers understands how Dave maybe wasn't the best fit in that band, just style wise and all that stuff. Not to say
Yeah.
that he isn't on
But
another
like
level.
Josh, I thought Josh Klinghoffer did a great job. Like on
Josh is amazing,
yeah.
and Josh has a long history of playing with tons of amazing bands. He's played with Beck, PJ Harvey.
He's going to be playing with Pearl Jam now. He's going to be touring with them as their touring guitarist.
Bring him along, man. Why not bring him along? And you know what? In all fairness, maybe they should have just brought him along in the Chili Peppers, because you know what I mean. I mean, I don't know if that has to do with his relationship with John or not. Maybe it's not a good relationship, or maybe he feels a little slighted that he came back out of the blue. But Josh is amazing. Josh is I've seen Josh play with them. He's an amazing guitar player, very creative guitar player, super tight guitar player, even though he's waddling around stage with his big pantaloons on most of the time. But yeah, he's amazing. He'll do great in Pearl Jam. Pearl Jam knows that he's a gem, and to bring him along gives Stone and the other guy some breaks in between to go have wine with Eddie.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, I'm stoked. I'm not sure if I'm going to go to the show or not. It is at the Rogers Center. It's a little bit bigger of a show that I don't normally like big shows like that.
Yeah.
That being said, we've had a good string of people offering us VIP things to things. So maybe we'll luck out and get some passes or something, or maybe I'll just go buy some cheapo nosebleeds for $30 and try to weasel my way down onto the floor to check out one of the best working American rock bands of all time.
Yeah, agreed for sure. It'd be amazing. I'm not sure if I'm going to shell out again. Rogers Center a little bit big. Maybe if they were doing the ACC or whatever, Scotiabank Arena as it's called now, that might be a little bit better. But yeah, it's a little bit big at Rogers Center. But very cool to have them back. I think the thing, maybe the reason why Josh isn't in the band is that the Chili Peppers vibe has always been about having those four guys. Right. Yeah. And I was watching on YouTube the other day of a jam they were doing at a gig in London, like maybe a decade ago when John was still in the band, over a decade ago, when he was still in the band, and Chad and John and Flea were doing a jam, and just those three guys, something about just having the drums and the bass and the guitar and the way that they jam is just incredible. And so if you toss another guitar player in there, maybe that just throws off the interplay. And I know that when the whole process of John rejoining the band was just him and Flea getting back together and jamming and just kind of rediscovering their chemistry. And so I think that's what made up a big part of him rejoining the band. And I really do feel like those four guys, that's the definitive lineup of the Chili Peppers. So really excited, more so excited about the tour. We're probably more so excited about a new record and hearing a new single, because I think it's going to be fantastic. So looking forward to that.
Agreed.
Right on. So that is our headliner topic for this week's Rock Squad podcast. So we're going to wrap things up. But before we do, we're going to get to our tracks of the week, a couple of songs that we've been listening to in the world of rock music. For me, Dave, tracks of the week, the new song from Biffy Clyro called A Hunger in Your Haunt, which is from the new record, The Myth of the Happily Ever After. So excited for next Friday when that record and the new Don Broco record, Amazing Things, come out. So looking forward to that. And my other one is Danko Jones, who we saw at the Festival of Friends, from the new record, Power Trio, a song called Blue Jean Denim Jumpsuit. Really, really badass, kick-ass rock and roll song, like only like Danko Jones can do. So those are my tracks of the week. What do you got?
Okay, so mine, I'm jumping on the Big Wreck bandwagon. My first one's going to be the Bombs Away track they just released off their new EP, because that song is just epic and heavy and everything you want if you're a fan of Big Wreck. And my second one is kind of an odd one. It's a live song that our one of our favorite bands, Don Broco, has a song called One True Prince that they just
Nice.
released, and a version from Abbey Road Studios. They've got strings. It's in room A. It's Abbey Road. It's a heavy rock song with a string orchestra helping them out. It's really cool. So I highly suggest both of those songs. Both of them are available now wherever you get your music. What else is there? Is that it? Are we at the end of the show? Are we back at it already?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, we're back, and again, we appreciate everybody and their patience as we took a little time off there to release some new music and go on some trips and stuff. But lots of cool stuff coming up on the Rock Squad channel. Be doing some more rock album reviews. Be doing some more podcasts and all that fun stuff. You can follow us on social media at Rock Squad Pod on Instagram and Twitter. Follow me at The Walking Nick. What about you, Dave? Where can the folks follow you?
You can follow me at Red Coast Records on Instagram, Red Coast Records on Facebook. And guys, we have a new single, Maniacs, recorded in Toronto, produced by us, mixed by Gavin Brown. If you like 3 Days Grace, if you like Billy Talent, if you like the Tragically Hip, if you like Metric, this is definitely in your wheelhouse. Go check it out. Fools Union on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube. We're everywhere we need to be. So go check it out.
Yeah, right on. So thanks everybody for watching the Rock Squad podcast. We'll see you guys again for another episode next week. In the meantime, rock on, Dave.
Rock on, Nick. Have a good night, buddy.